So when you first were growing up, what was it like? Tell me about your parents.
At that time when I was growing up, well, let me tell you, both of my parents are deaf. And both of them. And people have said, how in the world did you survive this? With both being deaf, did you learn? Did you sign? Because they both sign, But did you learn to? I had to learn sign, yeah. But there's the basic symbols, or not symbols, but for movements with your arm, and also with your lips. It helps when you say, I'm hungry, I'm sick, and I want to play with my friends. See, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm signing while I'm talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then as growing up, I've learned to speak Spanish with the neighbors around my neighborhood, around the neighborhood. That's how I learned. And there was time for me to go to school, so my parents put me at school in Guadalupe Parochial School. That's where the church is now, Guadalupe Church. And my teachers were the nuns. Oh, were they disciplined. I don't want to say mean, no. But they were disciplined. And consequently, that's why I learned to speak English and read and write. Write, for example, Sister Bernard. She would walk around up and down the aisles with a ruler in her hand and looking to see how well we're doing, because they emphasize cursive writing. And if you see me doing a little a letter that I should do better, he would tap me in the hand, not to hurt me, but she'd tap me in the hand and she'd smile. So that means I gotta improve my doing. And as growing up, of course, both my parents were just not very well off, because my dad worked for the school for the deaf, and of course my mom would stay home. But but to earn money as I was growing up, I polished shoes up in the plaza. That's what I do. I used to do that, but I have to be careful that there are certain places in the plaza were already taken by other guys that do that. And I also sold a journal in the morning, and that too. You just don't go to La Fonda to sell the journal. That was already taken by somebody else. And it's funny, if you sell a paper for somebody you're not supposed to, then you have to buy two of the other one that they had the route. But so far I survived, and basically, and as a youngster too, I worked got to attend the Santa Fe Boys Club. That had an enormous impact on me growing up, because it was great that they had people that cared for you, and sometimes they offer meals. And one thing that I remember very well, they even had showers for everybody. They locked the doors. Everybody took it into the shower room, and everybody take a shower. So that was real nice. But by my being there, helped me can go on to finish, go to school.
And what did you do for a living in Santa Fe? What did you do? What was your job?
I was in the New Mexico National Guard at that time. Then the Korean situation came up. So being a member of the National Guard, I had no choice but to go with everybody, even other classmates that I had in high school. You say I was 17, but you have to go. Others will excuse because they were the only, for some reason, valid reason, they dropped them off. But we were stationed at Fort Bliss for a while. And upon completing my being in active duty, we were discharged. And what am I going to do now that I'm out? So I say, hey, but I have some training coming. I think I want to be a mechanic. So I went to register to be a mechanic at the high school. They had a place in the high school where you can learn how to do the mechanic. But at that time, I was also working at the Boys Club. Well, then we have a gentleman at the Boys Club named Dan Padilla. Dan Padilla told me one day, he said, you know, Joe, I want you to go with me to College of Santa Fe, or the St. Michael's College. I need to get some get some work done. You know, okay, so I went with him. And going over there, he introduced me to one of the brothers, and this was planned, I could say. And one of the brothers, and we talked and asked him what I was going to do. So I was going to be a mechanic enrolled at the mechanic school, and they were, you know what? Have you any feelings of going to college? Are you kidding? No, that's the first thing in my mind. But he had a way of doing whatever he did. I said, okay, I'll enroll for the first semester, and let's see what things will happen then. The first semester, terrible. I had D's, a couple of C's, and he says, that's all right. That's all right. Not everybody can come up like this. The thing is, you did not get any F's. That's true. Well, so that means something. Being a college student, emphasize the word college. Well, yeah, not too bad. Let's go for the second semester. And you know what? We have others that can help you with some weaknesses that you may have. You'll really enjoy. But remember, you still have money coming to you because of your training, you're getting with the National Guard, and when you are in active duty, that means about $124 a month. Yes! See? And sure enough, I stayed. And in 1958, I graduated with a degree in education. And, of course, at that time when I was attending school, I met Priscilla, my loving wife. We got married, and we had children. And I got into teaching, and I spent approximately about 41 years of teaching, which is in elementary school, junior high school, the Santa Fe Community College, working with adult basic education, and my last event or episode in education is working with a GED program, in which I retired in 1999.
Well, in general, what would you say about Santa Fe? Do you enjoy it as a city? Have you enjoyed the culture, and have you been enriched by living here?
Oh, yes. At that time, it was nice. There was a nice feeling when at that time in Santa Fe. People talked to one another. It was a friendly place, especially like if you go to the plaza. People like to live. There are people that are sitting down on the benches and they're talking. Some might be singing or playing a guitar and this and that. But it was a nice, safe feeling. It was safe. That I mean, safe was correct. That you feel that because you can go and come home and no problem. Of course, I didn't stay late naturally, but it's a nice feeling that if you have nothing else to do, then you would go down. But me, I'd rather work at the Boys Club. But then again, we have friends that like to go and visit, and I would go with them. But I had a nice feeling about Santa Fe at that time.
Great. Did you grow up in Santa Fe?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so you really know Santa Fe.
I do.
Yeah. What was it like back when you were a child?
I was scared because they were always talking about the war.
Uh-huh.
Where my uncle was in the service, and I was a war baby, actually.
Was it in the 1940s?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was maybe 12, and I'd sit on the steps, and I could hear them talking about I don't know if it was Koreans or who in the heck they were. Japan,
yeah.
Oh, it was a scary situation when I was little. And then thank God that they won the war. And then I grew up in I had the best parents. God gave me the best parents, Modesto and Francis Romero. And they gave us the best of all the world.
Did you go to school here in Santa
Yes,
Fe?
I did. We did.
What schools did you go to?
Alvord, on Hickox, and then I went to B.F. Young, from there Santa Fe High. So that's what I remember about New Mexico.
Do you remember when you were growing up? What did you do when you were kids?
We had a blast. They'd take us to the movies, and then we got older. They'd take us to the dances, St. Mike's, Oñate, Santa Fe High. We watched Fats Domino. Who was that? Country western singer. I can't remember his name, but oh my God, my parents were so good to us. They'd take us to the dances, then they'd pick us up.
Oh, nice. What is Santa Fe different now than it used to be?
I don't think so. I don't think it's grown that much. Mm-hmm. And if it has, I put what do you call it?
Just blinders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's really the same to me.
Yeah.
It never changes. It's beautiful. Nothing like New Mexico. Nothing like Santa Fe. I would never move. My son went to college and moved to Albuquerque. Mm-hmm. And my daughter works. I've got a wonderful daughter, and she loves New Mexico also. She's always lived here. But like I tell you, it's wonderful. New Mexico is wonderful.
Did you work here in Santa Fe, or did you?
I was more a housewife. I worked hard raising my two kids.
Oh, very hard.
It's a hard job.
Sure.
And so that's what I remember. I used to live up there in Alameda by the compound on the dirt road.
Right.
Oh, I loved that area. We finally had to sell. We couldn't afford to keep it. It was falling apart. The adobe was, oh gosh, huge. Yeah, but there's nothing like New Mexico. And yeah, I'm glad to have met you.
Nice to meet you too. What's your name, sir?
Benji Martinez.
Ben, and have you been in Santa Fe long?
I was born here in Santa Fe.
Oh, so you're lifelong.
I left Santa Fe in 1953, and I joined the Army.
Oh.
I stayed away 28 years, spent 3 tours in Germany. My baby was born there, my Pam, and she's 55 years old now. So, first time that I went to Germany was in 1956. I'm 84 years old now, so. And I've been working here
at the senior center.
Almost on 17 years now. It's volunteer. I do the ceramics. And I have 2 ceramic classes a week on Wednesdays and Fridays, okay? I'll show you my ceramic room in there, the kilns.
That'd be great.
And then I have silversmith on Tuesdays. We do silver, jewelry.
So, Ben, what was it like growing up in Santa Fe?
It was fantastic. I loved it here, except that I wanted to leave. You know, like every young kid. I went to school here at St. Mike's, and I just wanted to leave Santa Fe, so I joined the Army.
What was Santa Fe like back then?
Well, when I left Santa Fe, the population was 37,000. 37,000. I don't know what it is right now, but I suppose it's close to 90, maybe 80 something. But do you know the population?
I think you're very close. I think it's about 85,000.
85 maybe, yeah. It was a small town. Everybody knew everybody, and
What did you do for fun when you were young in Santa Fe?
For fun, I've done a lot of things. At St. Mike's, I was in the boxing team ever since I was in junior high till high school. I fought 5 years at St. Mike's, 5 seasons.
Wow.
I was undefeated. I was New Mexico State champion for 3 years.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. Did you work here in Santa Fe after you got out of the Army?
I worked in Santa Fe off and on during the summer on different jobs. I worked at Capital City Produce, which is at the rail yard for after school, and then on Saturdays, and during the breaks, and what we done was we delivered produce and fruits to all the stores in Santa Fe at that time. It was a pretty neat job. Didn't pay much, but
You enjoyed
it was good enough to go to the show with my girlfriend.
Do you think Santa Fe's changed much since?
Oh yes, it's changed quite a bit. It's grown a lot. Sometimes you get on the road and you wonder, there's so many cars. You wonder what in the world are these people doing for a job, You can't imagine that there's so much work here in Santa Fe. A lot of people work in Albuquerque, Los Alamos, and different places. We have quite a few people in Santa Fe for the size, I think.
Right.
You can always tell by the cars that are on the road every evening. Yeah.
What about the culture here? Have you really enjoyed being part of the culture?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The culture is phenomenal here. Our food, our New Mexico type, pozole, green chili and stuff. It's nowhere like it anywhere else, not even Albuquerque. Very different from Santa Fe and northern New Mexico. Yeah. Albuquerque might be considered that north, which it is actually, but it doesn't have the culture that we have. Not even close. Where are you from?
I actually grew up here also.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where did you go to school? Santa Fe High?
I went to Santa Fe High. I went to De Vargas.
Did you?
And then Santa Fe High School.
Yeah, I went to Harrington also.
Did you go to Mid High? Was there Mid High back then? Or
Yeah,
it
it was mid-high. It was 7th, 8th, and 9th grades. Harrington and Harvey. Harvey was in town by the high school. Yeah. You remember that.
Sure. Did you go downtown very often?
Oh yeah, we spent a lot of evenings in town. Yeah. Just enjoying the people.
I grew up on Dunlap Street, right where we were sitting. And matter of fact, in the town where the dining room is, there was a gravel pit. Okay, and they used to clean the gravel pit. And back then, in the 40s, when I was a kid, we didn't have any swimming pools. So we used to come here, walk over here, and dive into the mud puddle there. The reason I ask you, you know what was here in the Castellana area?
What's before?
Yeah.
No.
No, you don't. Well, actually, when Roosevelt, during the Depression, at the CC, they call it a CC camp. There was a civil engineering something in another part, and they used to put young people to work. And they'd open up the CC camp right there where the Castellana is, CC camp. And then when the war started, they turned it into an internment camp for Japanese citizens. And I used to think it was for prisoners of war, because we used to live here in Dunlap Street, or Racross Street over here. And one night, I remember there was a fire going, and we were scared to death because we thought maybe the Japanese had escaped, and we were scared, Wow. Then after that, after the war was over, then they turned it. Then the state penitentiary there was a farm. They made it into a farm. They grew some vegetables in it, and then we supplied the pen, I guess, with vegetables. And then after that, they started to build back in the mid '50s. They started build a Casa Solana, the area. And then in 1964, we opened up the shopping center, and it was a Piggly Wiggly store there, and I was the produce manager there.
Oh.
And then as time went on, this was in the 60s. In the 70s, I was general manager. I ran that store there in the 70s, and. But I remember a lot of Santa Fe that's changed, So, but anyway, so we grew up here. I went to Guadalupe, Harrington, Santa Fe High, and I was in the grocery business for 30 years, and then I went and I was store manager up in Taos and for Smith's, and I worked here for Albertsons, and then I got out. I was 45 years old, and I got burned out because I started checking groceries when I was 15. So I went in the car business and management, and I went for Chevrolet, and I was I did a management and work, sales and management, and then I went to work for the Buick store and Henry Valencia when he had it here at the auto park, and I was finance manager there for a couple of years. So anyway, that's where I did for a living, I had 4 sons, and they all played sports at Santa Fe High. A couple of my sons were the quarterbacks for the Demons,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back then, And my son Michael was what do you call it? Investor. You get that for a long time. And I have a son here. His name is Gregory Segura. He has Santa Fe Silverworks.
Oh,
He's doing real well. He's won a few awards, And and then I just lived down the street here. I lost my wife. It's going to be 15 years now. So I come over here to eat every day and exercise, and I like it here. It's a nice little town. They asked me one time when I was with Albertsons if I wanted to move to Nebraska because they wanted managers over there, and I turned it down. I didn't want to move out of Santa Fe. I have no regrets, so Santa Fe's been good to me.
My name is Gloria Doppelmayr.
Gloria, great. Tell me, how long have you been in Santa Fe?
74 years.
74 years. So were you born and raised?
Yes.
What part of town did you grow up in?
I lived on Fiesta Street when I was a young girl.
Yes. And did you go to school here in Santa Fe also?
Yes, I did.
What schools did you go to?
Gonzales, and I went to Leo Harvey, and I went to Harrington. I didn't graduate though.
When you were kids, do you remember what your friends and you used to do for fun?
Yes, we would always be outside in the field where we lived because it was just nothing but field then. And we would just play, and we would do everything outside. We didn't have time to go in until it was dinner time.
So you guys really like being outdoors?
Oh, yes. Yes, we had a lot of fun, my friends and I.
What did you do here in Santa Fe after you got a little older? Did you work here in Santa Fe?
Yes, I did. I worked at Tia Sofia's for about 25 to 30 years.
That's still a great place.
Yes, it is. Great people.
What do you like most about Santa Fe?
I like the weather. I like the people. They're very friendly and very giving. And I like the natives a lot. And I just love living in Santa Fe. You can breathe better, and you're always happy. I don't like all the people that have come in, but because, they've taken over most of our grandparents' homes and stuff because they came in with money and they showed it to us that we were poor and just got rid of all our homes.
What's your favorite thing about Santa Fe culture?
The culture, actually everything, I think. Everything. I really do.
Do you go to Fiesta?
Oh, yes, I do. I love to go. I remember fiestas when we were small, that everybody would get dressed as a fiestas. Now they just go normally. So no, we need more participation in our fiestas.
You are
I was
native of Santa Fe?
Born and raised here, yeah.
Oh, so you really know Santa Fe. This has been your
Well,
hometown.
Yeah, but I had my parents. She didn't want me to hang around or go to the boys' club because she thought I was going to get in trouble. Because some kid would just go to the downtown with the steel pens and shit like that. And my mom said, "No, I want you after school. I want you here right at 4 o'clock and or later." So I was very obedient. Well, she could be pretty tough.
Where did you go to school?
Carlos Gilbert is when I went to St. Mike for 2 years, the second grade. I made my first communion, and then, well, there was 8 of us at the house, so my dad couldn't afford to keep us at St. Mike's. So I went to a public school. I went to Carlos Gilbert.
What did you guys do for fun when you were kids?
Sure, there was not much I could do. There was no baseballs or basketball or things like that. I guess maybe if they would have let me go to the boys' club, I could have done some of those things. But my mother didn't believe in all that stuff, so, and she didn't want me to get in trouble. That's
Right.
So, yeah, and all my older brothers were 3 years ahead of us, and 3 years is a big gap.
Oh, yeah.
The one that I follow, well, he was already working and stuff. He started working at a home bakery. Home bakery and the other bakery that was Bad Ride Bakery. Do you remember that one?
Sure.
Yeah, he worked good. He worked nice. So he already had, a little statue at home. You could kind of pretty much do whatever he wanted to. He bought a car and all that stuff.
What did you do for work when you were older?
Let's see, I started being a delivery boy when I was at the Arts Drugstore. You remember that one?
Sure.
Yeah, Arts Drugstore. I was a delivery boy. You ain't gonna believe I delivered whiskey, beer, in a bike. 'Cause that's the only thing I could muster it. So in a bike, I would put a case of beer in my handlebars, and there I go. And of course, I delivered liquor, and I could deliver anything.
You said that you were you shine shoes and delivered papers?
I did that too, but when I was younger, I was still younger when I was, it must have been, I'd say 8 years old, and I was already, my mother didn't believe that you should stay home and do nothing. She wanted you to go and do something. I don't care what it is, as long as you're here at a certain time. So yeah, I did that, and then I went to work at a service station. I think I was pumping gas while I was going to school, high school and stuff. So I pumped gas.
What do you enjoy most about Santa Fe culture or the city of Santa Fe? What have you enjoyed
Well, the
most about
fiestas were nice, I remember my mother, because I had a lot of nieces, and my mom would make their little outfits for her. She would sew them and make outfits. So everybody was kind of dressed festivity, but the fiesta was good, I guess. And I guess there was, when I was a teenager, there was dances at the St. Mike's gym. I don't know if you remember that. I remember going to those dances there. And most of the time you were get in a fight because you were dancing with somebody that I guess you weren't supposed to. I don't know. They're jealous of, the Pachucos and the Lucianos and the Corchos and who else. There were these gangs that they want to dominate. Yeah. And since you were not part of a clique, you had to fight your way back. I had to fight. I don't know how many times I had to fight. I remember in high school, we were in our English class, and I had just bought a nice shirt, and it had a button back here. Okay, so this guy, he was just being patient with me or whatever. I guess he got a sharp knife and cut the button out, and then he told me, "Here." I blew, man. I got it from here. All the buttons went out, and we started in a fighting class. So the coach said, Mrs. Nordstrom, she went and called the coach, and the coach came in. He stopped us. He said, "Okay, you guys hit each other? I want to see you in the gym right after 12 o'clock, after lunch." So I was hoping he wouldn't show. I didn't want to fight. I like to fight. Anyway, he showed up, and but I did go. I wasn't going to chicken out. So we were hitting, we were boxing 3 minutes on and 1 minute off. And we gave ourselves some good chingazos. Until my arms, we couldn't hold him up anymore. But he never bothered me again. That was some story, I guess. Yeah, it was sad because I didn't like to fight. I mean, I tried to kind of mind my own business, and I wasn't a bully or anything like that. But it was like there was some that were bullies, but it was not my.
My name is Marian Padilla.
Marian? Mm-hmm. Great. How long have you been in Santa Fe?
Well, I always say I was a cheerleader in the 4th grade at Wood Gormley Elementary School. So I've been here a long, long time, as has my family. We're originally from Mora, New Mexico, the family, but we moved to Santa Fe so that we could be in better schools. That was a decision my father made. But we lived on College Street, which is now Old Santa Fe Trail. And so my neighbors were all quite famous. I'm an art broker, and my neighbor to the south was Gustav Bauman, and across the street from us was the poet Whitter Biener. And so there was a lot of artists and shows going on at that time. It was, like the late 50s and that time that Gustav was doing his marionettes, and that was all very rich. And every afternoon, the kids in that area, now there aren't any kids there, but it was a whole parade of kids that lived in that Old Santa Fe Trail, Buena Vista area. And Gustav Bauman had a lot that ran up to Old Santa Fe Trail. And at that time, Old Santa Fe Trail was made of cobblestones. And it was beautiful. And so we would walk 3 blocks to school to Wood Gormley and walk back for lunch and go back again. And so every afternoon at 3:30, all the kids, even the high schoolers, would get together. We would play baseball in that lot that Gustav Bauman owned. And there was 20, 25 kids that sometimes would play, and everybody had a place. Even the little kids got their chance at bat. But we had rules, and the rules were if you hit it in the street, and come 5 o'clock, everybody from the state capitol was driving out of there. So if you hit the ball across into the street, it was a doubleheader. You got to second base, so that kids wouldn't run in the street and get hit. If you hit it across the street to the poet's house, he had an old fence that had little holes in it, and if you hit your fly ball all the way over there, it was a home run, so that nobody would run across the street and go get that ball. So it was a very exciting time during that era, and from that was when the Acequia Madre would run all the way down there from the acequias in the back, and now they've changed that water route. So, and they closed off different areas where people bought into their homes, and they took over that acequia property. And so now the acequia doesn't run in the same way that it used to. At any rate, we had a colorful, I should say, very colorful childhood, and it was a great time to be a kid.
Did you go to school here in Santa Fe, Ron?
Yes, I did.
What schools did you go to?
I started off in Gonzales Elementary School,
Right.
And then I went to Laragoite. And then I went to Harvey Junior High. And then I went to Mid High. And then I went to Santa Fe High. And then I went to the Santa Fe Community College.
What did you guys do for fun when you were a kid here?
We rode bikes. We played in the Santa Fe River. We played at Hanson's Lumber Yard on top of the big sawdust piles and the big piles of wood, which we would take home and make stilts out of them. We had a glade that was in the Santa Fe River that we called the Jungle, which was basically a bunch of cottonwoods and weeping willows and things like this, and we would make forts in them. So that's how we rode a lot of bikes.
Wow, that's great.
And we did a lot of hiking as well.
And when you got older and graduated from high school, did you work here in Santa Fe?
Yes.
What kind of things did you do?
I worked as a carpenter, contractor, as a chef, as a store owner. I owned a restaurant and a chocolate shop as well. The chocolate shop is still being run by my son on the plaza. It's called Chocolate in the Plaza. It's in the old Penny's building, if you're familiar with that.
Great. And what do you like best about Santa Fe and Santa Fe culture?
The fact that we've been here forever. All my family is here. My grandfather back in 1912, actually before then, helped build the Scottish Rite Cathedral. My uncle helped build the Lensic. So we have some history here in Santa Fe.
What's your name?
My name is Don Cabeza de Vaca.
Great. And have you lived in Santa Fe a long time? Or
I'm a homie.
You're a homie, just like me.
Yeah.
We both grew up in Santa Fe. Yeah. Where did you go to school?
I went to St. Anne's, Vieillon, Santa Fe High.
Great. And when you were growing up here in Santa Fe, what did you and your friends do for fun?
Well, we had no computer, so that's out of it.
Right.
You know, we just kicked the can, played hide and go seek, played marbles, played white kites. Each season had its time to play certain games. It was interesting, very interesting, you know. In fact, here in Santa Fe, when I was young, nobody spoke English. It was all Spanish, you know. So it was interesting.
So everybody spoke Spanish, and did you speak Spanish in school, or did they?
Well, no, in school, of course, we had a hard time. Well, I had a hard time. I don't know about the rest. Well, the simple purpose that when we went to the St. Anne's, everybody there were the nuns. I feel sorry for them now because they would be talking to us in English. We didn't know what was going on.
So, did your parents both work here in Santa Fe?
Well, my father worked. My mother was at home.
Yeah. After you graduated from high school, you stayed here in Santa Fe?
I stayed here in Santa Fe.
And what have you done? What did you do for work here in Santa Fe?
Well, anything that came along that I could make a buck at it, you know?
Yeah.
So consequently, I learned how to do construction, plumbing, electrical, hydraulic, pneumatics, hydro equipment. So a lot of things.
Fiesta? Have you gone to the Fiesta?
Well, the Fiestas before was a lot of difference. You know, I remember going to Fiestas when I was young. My parents used to take me, and they used to dress in Spanish mode. You know, they had to around here. They had to have it was all Spanish. And I remember little groups playing music in certain areas all over the plaza. I remember as I grew up, right there where the buses pick up the people out there for the Sheraton.
Right.
They used to run horses back there, racehorses. I mean, racehorses, I wouldn't say that. Just horses that would bring from the farm and run here, and that's it. It was interesting. So I've had an enjoyable life. I've done gold prospecting. I've done raced cattle. I've dehorned. I've broken horses. A little of everything.
Santa Fe culture. If you had to say what you like most about Santa Fe and Santa Fe
I loved
culture.
it all at that time. I don't like it now. Everything is different. You know, it was more simple, more honest. The people were more, if you want to call it Christian, they were more involved. I remember when the stores and everything would be closed on Sundays. So, but everything changes with time. It changes. But it's interesting.
Did you grow up here?
No, I didn't grow up here.
Uh-huh.
I grew up in Grant, around that area.
When did?
Acoma.
Oh yeah. When did you move to Santa Fe?
I moved to Santa Fe when I was about 19 years old. My name is Merlinda.
Merlinda.
Yeah, Atencio.
Yeah. Did you go to school here in Santa Fe?
No, I didn't.
Uh-huh.
I went to school in Grant.
Uh-huh.
I really like Santa Fe, even though when there was not that much building around, no, now it's really growing like crazy. So I've been living over there on the Ocate Road right next to the new Walmart where it opened. I like it before it went in, but now it's kind of like too much. Everything's getting expensive, but I still like Santa Fe.
Yeah. Have you worked here in Santa Fe before?
After I moved back from Denver, I got me a job over at used to be a nursing home, small nursing home, and he was there, Mr. Lujan, and that's where I met him.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
And I was a cook over there. Dolores was a supervisor, and I worked there for a while. And then when I got me another job, and that was it. It was pretty good. Then I was looking for a house, or some place where I could rent. And then I went to Warren Inn. I got me a small studio apartment. Then I stayed there for, the rent was a little cheap at that time. It was like, I can't remember, it's $60 or $70 a week. So I stayed there almost like a month and a half. In the meantime, my husband was looking for a bigger place for us to stay with my daughter. So he found a place, another small trailer, but we stayed there for another month. And then we moved into another trailer. So it was good, and ever since then I liked it. That was good, and then I got me a job at RAB. And I worked at RAB for a long time, recovering alcoholic.
Right.
And I was one of the patients too there, but so I just changed my whole life around. Yes. And I just kept going now. And now that I turned senior, I worked at I retired from recovery center, and then my husband and I, we both retired from there, and then I stayed away 2 years at home. It was getting bored. So was my husband. So he's got a job with the Cross Guard with the schools. So he worked for about 2 years, and then 2 years he died. And I said, I got to continue working. So that's what I did. And then I went and applied for the schools. I worked in the kitchen at the schools for 12 years. From there, 12 years, I retired. I like the kids, and I enjoyed, besides staying home.
What schools did you work at?
I worked at Sweeney. Over on Airport Road. In the meantime, they were building more schools around, so I said, oh my God. So I just retired in June 19, before I turned 70. I turned 71. So I retired. I said, that should be enough for me to keep me going.
So do you enjoy living in Santa Fe now?
I do. I still enjoy it. And then now that I retired, I'm coming back over here. I first used to do silversmith, but silversmith kind of the business went down. But when the business went down and I picked up, I said, hey, I have another trade. I said, I need to get back into my pottery. I did pottery when I was with my grandma. When I was 8 years old, I used to get out of school and we go up to Acoma, and then I stayed there, used to watch her roll out the clay, and I never was interested if I was going to get into it. But later on, as soon as I kept watching her, I got my hands into it, and she just loved it the way I was making all those pottery. And then it went on for quite a while. And then after I ran out of clay, then I went into ceramic. And then here, that's what we did, is do ceramic. And then I get nice orders from the local people.
What is your name?
Jim Martinez.
Jim Martinez. Are you a Santa Fe native?
I am.
Great. So you have seen Santa Fe change over the years.
I have.
Great. Did you go to school here in Santa Fe?
Yeah, I did.
What schools did you go to?
Connie School.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about growing up in Santa Fe. What was it like for you?
Well, there was in school type. We went to Wood Gormley and Harrington, and so I went to St. Mike's for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Don and I, we went to school together young. We had to walk to school. We lived across from the Indian school, so we'd walk clear downtown, go to school, walk home. Before they had buses in those days. A different world. We'd walk by that penitentiary they had, the old penitentiary.
Right.
Walk by there, and there was, one time we were walking by, a friend and I, and there was a prisoner out there doing something. And a guard up on top of the wall of the prison, he aimed his gun at him and told him, "Don't move," he told him. And we passed right by the con, you know. So it was a little different type of deals in those days.
What do you remember about you and your friends doing for fun when you were growing
up? We
up?
were very athletic, so we played all the sports, and we produced some of the best athletes around in that neighborhood. Across from the Indian school, basketball, we'd make our own track and field thing there for pole vault, high jump, whatever. And we'd go to the Indian school. It was really beautiful in those days. They had the best lawn and flowers, well kept. And so we'd go play football on the grass over there. We played tackle football there, so it was pretty neat. The Indian school, they had once a week, they would show movies in the gymnasium for the Indian students. And the guys knew us there, so and I still remember the name of it was a series every week, every Friday, the Black Hawk. That was what they showed. So that was kind of fun.
What's your favorite part of Santa Fe culture, being in Santa Fe?
Well, like we're here today, the music is always beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The sad part now, they have during the summer, they have the summer music downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And the people may not like this, but all the Anglos have taken over, and they play the crappiest music that locals, we go there and we can't stand it, we'll leave. And they don't cater to the Hispanics anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad to me.
Yeah.
Very wrong direction to take. They've catered more to outsiders than to the locals. I wish that would change. It could, but they don't do it. I don't know why.
Do you think Santa Fe was a great place to grow up and to live?
Well, we had a great time, you know. And, in the neighborhood, all the guys, we were like brothers, you know.
Right.
Everybody every day got together. You're small, you played kick the can, and later the sports, school, and all that. So it was a fun time. It was.
Great. And what's your name?
Jose.
Jose?
Uh-huh.
Nice to meet you, Jose.
Nice to meet you.
So you came in 1975?
I just remember that I came in 1975. I'm from Mexico.
Oh.
But in those days, I came here and it snowed a lot and rain a lot. And now we are in 2018 and it's been changing a lot. The weather and the weather climate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's not the same like I used to be.
What do you remember when you first came to Santa Fe? How did you think of the city? What was it like for you?
Well, it was less people, for sure. And then when I remember that the mountains, even in June, July,
right,
full of snow.
Full of snow.
And then the arroyos, lots of water. That's what I remember.
And when you were first coming to Santa Fe, did you come and start working here?
Yes, I did. My first job was in El Rito. El Rito, New Mexico was a little sad, but I do my work as a farmer.
Oh, you're a farmer.
Yes.
Were you a farmer in Mexico also?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. was, but I noticed that the people was so happy and more talkative.
Friendly.
Yeah, more friendly. Yes.
They talk to each other more.
More, now is a lot of people from other
Other countries all over.
countries all over. That's why it's, maybe that's why it's changing a lot. Santa Fe.
Well, that's very
But
interesting.
it's still beautiful. The weather and climate is nice.
Great.
It's still, we don't suffer from heat or and if the rain, the change right away. The climate change right away.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
Gloria Chavez.
Gloria, tell me about how long have you been here in Santa Fe?
Now I've been here about 2.5 years.
And before that, you were here for a long
I
period?
lived here right after high school.
I see.
For a couple of years, I worked at the Capitol.
Oh, you worked at the Capitol. What did you do there?
I worked in the motor vehicle department issuing driver's license.
Oh, great.
And there's my boss, I think.
How has Santa Fe changed for you since back then to now? Is it different?
Yes. It's gotten bigger, much bigger.
What do you like about Santa Fe? What do you enjoy about it the most? What do you like about Santa Fe?
The people. The people are friendly, outgoing, very, very nice. So I like that.
And do you go to fiestas? Ever go to the fiesta here in Santa Fe?
Oh yes, for sure. Zozobra.
You like Zozobra?
Of course. Everybody likes Zozobra.
Right. So, do you feel that Santa Fe is the place that you want to stay now? Are you going to stay in Santa Fe?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
I think so, yes.
Are you, where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Mexico. I was born and raised in Fort Sumner, Billy the Kid country.
Oh, right.
And then we moved to Santa Rosa, and I went to high school there. And then when I got married, we moved to Bakersfield. My husband was working in the oil fields. So I got my master's. I went to school, Bakersfield, got my master's there in counseling, pupil personnel services and counseling.
Wow, so you've really been highly educated. Have you worked as a counselor?
Yes, for a long time at the high school.
Oh, I see. What high school did you counsel at?
Many in Bakersfield High School. Here at Santa Fe High School, I worked there. Where else? Belen High School. So
Well, the kids that you counseled at Santa Fe High, do you think they're different back then than the way they are now, from what you can tell?
well, I hope so.
What did you talk to the kids about at Santa Fe High when you were a counselor?
That the people are friendly and to be nice, to be nice to the people because they're very friendly. So.
Yeah. Did you help them to think about college and think about going?
Oh yes, that's something that comes up first. Stay in school, finish your school, and you don't tell them college yet. You just go one day at a time. Finish your school. Don't miss unless you're very sick. If you're all okay, you go to school.
Hey, I'm talking with Charlie, and tell me about the traditions and what you think.
I don't know too much about. I wasn't brought here. I was brought up or grown in Nambe. I mean, I was lived in Nambe for a long time. I moved here like 30 years ago, but. It seems like our traditions that the people used to have here, which were, every year they used to have their celebrations, let's say for fiestas or whatever fiestas or celebrations they had. It seems like all the people, they want to be changed to where they're not like they used to be, People were brought up to have the traditions that they were brought up with, and now everything's being changed around. You don't have any... dances or whatever. Of course, time changes and everything's getting more restricted, but seems like our traditions aren't like they used to be before. You know.
Do you think it's changed a lot over the years?
I think so. Yeah, we don't. I'm not, saying anything bad, but like the Indians don't want us to have the entrada anymore. Over in Española, even Española is having trouble. People aren't having their traditions like they used to. They don't want to have the celebrations they used to have for fiestas or whatever celebrations they had. They're being cut down, and it seems like even the mayor went along with what's going on. Which I think the people should decide, I guess, on what they want or what they don't want. People,
yeah, I think it's a really good viewpoint.
Yeah, well, I think things have to change, but to change the tradition that we've had for years is a hard thing for the people that are used to what they're having all the time.
Yeah. Did you grow up here in Santa Fe?
No, I'm from originally from Velarde, north of Española.
And what's your name?
Ricardo Vigil.
Yeah, and when did you move to Santa Fe?
No, I commute over here when I come to play.
Oh,
I live in Española.
Oh, I see.
I live in Española.
Have you noticed Santa Fe changing over the years coming into Santa Fe? Have you noticed any changes in the city?
It's really grown. It's really grown.
Yeah, that's true. Growing a lot of outsiders coming in. But I guess that's probably the biggest factor, a lot of people moving in and housing going up. No, it's very expensive, the houses.
Yeah. How about the culture? What do you like about the culture of northern New Mexico and Santa Fe? What do you think is important about it?
One of the things that I like is the music. The music, it's a very musical, all kinds of musicians. That's one of the things that I like, that I enjoy.
So, hello, Rosalie. Hi, you grew up in Santa Fe? You're a native of Santa Fe?
I could say that because we moved from Colorado when I was little. I was 5 years old. And we've lived here ever since.
Ever since. Did you grow up here in Santa Fe?
Yes.
Great. What schools did you go to? Do you remember?
Well, I went to Harvey. I went to
Santa Fe High? Did you go to
Santa Fe High? I went to Santa Fe. I graduated in 1957.
Oh, great.
So I'm an old-timer.
Is Santa Fe different now than when it was it was when you were growing up?
Oh, yeah.
In what ways? How is it different from before?
The people, the neighborhoods, and there weren't that many white people.
Oh, yeah. Did you go to Fiesta?
Huh?
Have you gone to Fiesta all these years?
Yeah, I was on the Fiesta Council.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 30 years, and
did you work here in Santa Fe?
Yeah, I worked for the state government.
Oh.
I worked at the state personnel office for 25 years, and then I retired, and then I started looking for something to do, and I came over here to the center, and I've been here ever since.
What is your favorite thing about Santa Fe culture, living in Santa Fe?
The people. How loving the people are.
What's your name?
Yolanda.
Yolanda. Great. How long have you lived here in Santa Fe?
I lived here all my life, which is 67 years.
Oh, wow. So you're a native of Santa Fe. That's great. Did you go to school here in Santa Fe?
Yes, I did.
Where did you go to school?
I started off with Gonzalez School. Because I grew up in Fiesta Street.
Fiesta Street, okay.
And then from there we moved and I went to Alvord School. Then Carlos Gilbert School. And from there I just went to Harvey Junior High and all the other schools that were top of that, after that.
So, did your parents live here in Santa Fe and were they natives of Santa Fe also?
Well, my father was from Chinle, Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
a little place called Many Farms.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was from Utah. I don't know what part of Utah, though, but she was from Utah. And then they came to Santa Fe, and my daddy would go to the Indian school here. And from there he went to the service, and he stayed here in Santa Fe. You know, was born here.
Great. What do you remember about growing up in Santa Fe? What was it like back then?
It was nice. It was nice. People didn't have to lock their doors. It was very nice. Neighbors from across. I mean, all the street were neighbors, you know, and knew everybody, and it was very nice.
What did the kids do for fun?
Well, my brother made it was like a teeter-totter. It would just go round and round and round. It wasn't a teeter-totter, but it would go round and round. But it was high, and it was for bigger kids. They would get on that, spin, and it was dangerous, though, because if they were getting spin too fast, they could easily fly off. But everybody would gather up in our yard and have fun.
When you were older and you stayed in Santa Fe, did you work here in Santa Fe, or?
I worked. My first job was A&W.
Oh, right.
On Cerritos Road. There's a car hop, and inside.
I remember that. Yeah.
17 years old.
Wow.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
The Jim West was the owner.
Did you go to Fiesta? Did you ever go to visit downtown, or?
Not that much,
Mm-hmm.
but we did go around in Fiesta, you know. We were little.
Mm-hmm.
And then we grew up a little bit older too, and we went to Fiestas on our own. And that's about it. I mean, go to Fiestas, go back home. I used to live there on Mackenzie at the Fiesta times when I was older.
Mm-hmm.
I lived on Mackenzie Street in Coast.
On Mackenzie, down, sort of in the downtown area?
Yeah, right by Jefferson Street.
That's great. And when you were an adult, what took up your time? What did you do while you were in Santa Fe?
As an adult?
Uh-huh.
Well, I went to school until I was 19, graduated from Santa Fe Senior High,
Mm-hmm.
got married that same year in 1969.
Uh-huh.
2 years trying to have a baby. Finally had a baby and stayed home, you know, being a mother, and my husband worked and about it, and got a few jobs in between there, like at the, what was it? I don't even remember the name of it now. It was housekeeping. I went with the older ladies. Come on, you can go and help clean, you know.
Yeah.
Family from this side.
Santa Fe changed much for you?
Well, yeah, a lot of things have changed, yeah. Cerritos Road has changed, downtown, the road from Cerritos Road down to downtown has changed.
Yeah. So have you enjoyed being part of the Santa Fe culture? Do you think the Santa Fe culture has influenced you?
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love Santa Fe.
What do you love about it?
I just love everything about it. It's my hometown, and I feel good just knowing that I was born here.
What's your name?
I'm Jessie Visaraga.
Jesse, hi.
Hi.
How long have you lived in Santa Fe?
Well, I was born in California. We came over here in 58 for the reason that we came because my father had asthma. He used to work for the government, so we moved over here when I was 12 or 13. And it was hard because we weren't used to having bathrooms outside and getting water from the well. We had everything in California. My father, like I said, worked at the government, for the government. So we were used to having nice things. Moving to Albuquerque was very hard on my mother, especially my mom, because my dad had all his family in Isleta, which was Los Lunas now. But we got used to it. We didn't have a choice. So we got used to it. And then so we stayed in Albuquerque for about 2 years, and then we moved to Santa Fe by my aunt's house. And then I started school there at, what was it? Part of Gonzalez School. and then in the 6th grade, because I had to leave Albuquerque to come to Santa Fe in the 6th grade. And then I went to Young in my junior year, and then I graduated from Santa Fe High in 65. And I come from a large family. My mother had 8 girls and 3 boys. So she died at the age of 41 after I graduated from high school. 2 months after my graduation in 65, I decided to raise my brothers and sisters. There were 8, including an alcoholic father, which was hard, but I did it with the help of the Lord, and then friends of church and neighbors. And I stayed with my brothers and sisters for 9 years till I was 26. Had my first daughter at the age of 26, and then my son at 27, and then my youngest daughter at 30. But within that time, that was my job. You know, I wanted the job to raise my brothers and sisters there. They graduated. Most of them had nice jobs. One was a policewoman, one was a teacher, and da. I didn't really had just raising kids. That was my profession, which I call. I babysat a lot for kids here in Santa Fe, a lot of kids. And then I got married. Well, within the time in 78, I got married, and then I had a daycare, little people's daycare. I had 12 kids from the state. That's what I did, take care of kids, and I enjoyed it. And then I got sick, and then that's how I landed up here. Because I got sick, and we lost our home, we lost everything. My husband died of a heart attack. So I had 3 children, lost my son at the age of 30, but I have 2 beautiful grown-up daughters. They're not married, but they're my pride and joy. And my son too, but he's in a better place. And that's why I'm here, enjoying the seniors, and I do a lot of volunteer like the rest of the women. I enjoy it, and that's my life.
Do you enjoy living in Santa Fe?
Yes, now I do, but at first it was hard, you know, but once I started going to school, meeting friends and this and that, but it was very hard because I come from a big city, and this was very small, but yet I liked it. I got used to it, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes, I'm Marcia Gonzalez.
Marcia Gonzalez, and you've lived in Santa Fe for how long?
18 years.
18 years. How did you end up coming to Santa Fe?
Well, it's a very long and sad story, but I'm here and I love it.
Have you enjoyed the culture of Santa Fe, living in Santa Fe? What do you like about Santa Fe?
I love the friendly people. I love that they were able to help me when I needed the help. Because when I came to Santa Fe, I was diagnosed bipolar, and I was homeless. I hitchhiked from Las Vegas to Mexico. I walked into the LifeLink and I said, somebody help me. I was seeing big yellow spots. I haven't had my medication in about 2 weeks. I said, if you don't help me, I'm going to run in front of a semi right now. So they put me in the hospital, in the psych ward. And I was there for 2 weeks, and then they helped me get a place there at the LifeLink, where I lived there for 5.5 years. There I did a lot of learning. I grew up in the LifeLink. Even though I was 45 years old, I grew up in the LifeLink. I learned how to talk to people, listen to people, help people. And I learned most of all how to let them help. And then they helped me move here to the Camino Consuelo. And I lived here for 11 years, I believe.
Have you found people here in Santa Fe to be helpful and kind to you?
Helpful. Well, I've found people to be all kinds of people. They're like everywhere else. There are mean people. There are good people. But the first thing you gotta do is learn to love yourself so you can love other people. I learned that with LifeLink. And yes, I've learned how to deal with people finally. It took me a long time. But I'm very happy. I do a lot of volunteer work. But I have a lot of friends here, like Yolanda and Jesse. They're 2 of my best friends.
What kind of volunteer work do you do?
We do volunteers at the senior citizens, and we do, what's it called? RSVP? RVSP. Where we give the people their meals. We help with the bags that come weekly, and we distribute them. We stay here at the center and make sure people can come in and sit down, have a glass of water, a bottle of water, or soda, or coffee, or their meal, or they can just take it home.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, thank you very much.
What's your name?
My name is Chris Garcia.
Chris Garcia. And so you've been here in Santa Fe for 60 years.
Yes.
And did you go to school here?
No, I didn't. I graduated from high school in Zeno.
Uh-huh. And then you moved to Santa Fe?
No, and then from there I went to Chicago, and I was there 2 years, and I came to Santa Fe then.
Oh, I see.
Santa Fe in 1955.
That was the year I was born.
55, that long time ago, huh?
Yeah, 55. Yeah. Did you start working here?
I started working for the State Land Office, and I worked there for 30 years.
Oh, my gosh.
And I've been retired about 34 years. As long as you've been alive, probably.
Oh, much. Actually, I'm older than you think.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy living in Santa Fe?
Yes, very much.
What do you like about Santa Fe?
Santa Fe is, we have a good climate. We have the mountains and the streams and the lakes, hiking, which I don't do much anymore because I'm getting old. But I used to do all that stuff many years ago. We had a very good time.
So Santa Fe really provided you with a place to do some outdoor activities?
Yes, exactly.
Where would you go around Santa Fe to go hiking?
I went up to the ski basin several times.
Yes.
I don't ski, but I went hunting, fishing, and hiking, and all that stuff. Good stuff.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. Has Santa Fe changed much, do you feel?
Since I've been here, it's changed a lot.
Uh-huh.
A lot of new homes, naturally, new subdivisions. They're still going up south of Santa Fe. And that's it.
So I'm talking with Priscilla Lovato. And when did you first move to Santa Fe? How old were you?
17.
17 years old. And that was when you first got married, you were telling me?
Mm-hmm.
And what was it a big change for you?
Very big change, yes.
In what ways?
All the buildings, everything, also the stores and everything. I didn't know. I had never seen it before.
Uh-huh. So there was, you moved from where?
From Nambe. In Española, really, because I was working there.
Yeah, so a little bit north of Santa Fe.
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy Santa Fe? Did you like it, or did you like it back in the smaller
No,
place?
it was nice. It was different. It was nice.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Something bigger, something more people to see.
Yeah. So when you first moved to Santa Fe, did you... your children went to school here in Santa Fe?
Yes, they did, all of them. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And they seem to enjoy coming to school here?
Yes, they did.
Was the weather different back then than it is now? Do you notice a difference between the weather?
Very different. Mm-hmm. Now it used to be winter. When it was winter, it would snow.
Uh-huh.
Now it doesn't snow anymore. And the summers were pretty hot, too.
Uh-huh.
They were, but not as hot as we've seen it now. Mm-hmm.
So you've definitely noticed a change.
Oh, yes, definitely.
How has Santa Fe changed?
More people.
Uh-huh.
More buildings all over.
Uh-huh.
Houses everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When I first came, there weren't that many houses around.
Really, it was pretty... how about traffic? Was there...
Not too much traffic. Now it's terrible.
Yeah, so it was pretty quiet back then.
Very quiet and peaceful. It was very peaceful. Mm-hmm.
Did you feel safe here in Santa Fe? Let your kids run around the neighborhood back then?
Oh, yes. They used to play until all hours of the night.
Mm-hmm. And now, is it different? Do you feel like it's not as
Oh, no.
safe?
Now it's not even safe to open the door when the doorbell rings. You have to be aware.
Can I ask your name?
Carlos.
Carlos. And you grew up in Santa Fe?
No, I grew up in Taos County.
Oh, Taos County.
Yeah.
So when did you move to Santa Fe?
Well, I've been here since I was 3 years old.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, is Santa Fe different now than it was back when you grew up here?
Yeah.
What's one favorite memory you have growing up in Santa Fe?
When there was only 14,000 population, that was in 1945.
And what was it like? What was Santa Fe like then?
It was real quiet. Nobody bothered you. You could leave your doors open. Nobody would steal anything. And you knew everybody around. Now you can't. So it's my favorite place. I've been in the Navy and all the way to East Coast and West Coast. Couldn't find anything like it. The only place I would like in California would be San Francisco or San Diego, because they can keep Los Angeles.
Did you work here in Santa Fe?
Yeah, I worked for the telephone company for 30 years.
Oh, and so...
My father was editor of the Nuevo Mexicano.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he died in 64.
So you knew a lot about the newspaper business? Or just followed him around? Did you get a chance to...
No, we weren't too close. He was, what would you say, a dictator. Couldn't do anything around him. Wasn't very friendly with you.
Did you go to school here in Santa Fe?
I went up to the 9th grade, and during the war, I enlisted in the Navy. I was 17.
Oh, yeah. And then after you left the Navy, did you come back?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't go to school like I had gone to school, but I didn't like school in the first place.
Yeah.
So I don't miss it one bit.
Charles.
Yes.
When did you move to Santa Fe?
About 7 months ago.
Oh, just 7 months ago. What do you think? What are your impressions of Santa Fe so far?
Oh, I'm still adjusting. No, it's a nice town. Yes.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet.
Where do you come from?
From Wausau, Wisconsin.
Oh, from what motivated you to come to Santa Fe?
My daughter.
Oh,
and
I see.
3 granddaughters, and I live next door to my daughter. Yeah, she wanted me to move down here close to her. Yeah.
Have you had a chance to go out and look at the city, explore the city a little bit?
A little bit, not too much. I would like to do that, yes.
Is this different from Wisconsin?
Yes. I could get around Wisconsin a lot easier than I could here. I mean, the streets run every which way. A lot of traffic. I try to stay off of Surreer.
Yeah, the streets are notorious here for going in different directions.
Yeah. Well, my daughter said that's the way the trails used to be.
But so far, 7 months, you're enjoying your stay here?
Yeah, I mean, the weather's fine, yes. Miss all of that snow.
Right.
Yeah, but so far, so good.
That's great.
And, like I said, I'm at the Meg Center, I'm learning, I'm meeting different people and what have you, so that's a help.
Great. What's your name?
Ramona.
Ramona. And you've lived here in Santa Fe your whole life? Great. Did you go to school here in Santa Fe?
Oh, yes.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school in St. Francis Cathedral School.
Oh.
And then at, what do you call it, Mid-High.
Oh, right.
Well, Harvey and then Mid-High. That's it.
Did you? So you went to school with the nuns? Were the nuns your teachers? What was that like?
It was very nice. I liked it. From the 1st grade to the 8th grade.
And were your parents here in Santa Fe? Did you grow up?
They're not here anymore, but they were from here. Passed on already.
What did you like about living in Santa Fe as a child?
It was nice.
What did you do for fun?
Not very much. We didn't have very much. We used to play baseball.
Oh.
Yeah, tennis, golf.
Did you work here in Santa Fe?
I really didn't work much. I used to clean houses. That's what I used to do.
Did you
For
go?
some ladies, you know.
Did you go downtown much?
Oh, yes, we were. Always there downtown when we were young. Well, we go there for, whatever.
Has it changed much, Santa Fe, since you were young?
Yeah.
What's changed about it?
I don't know, everything. It's a lot bigger and I don't know.
What do you like about, do you like Santa Fe culture? Have you enjoyed being part of the culture here?
Yes.
Fiesta? Do you ever go down to Fiesta?
Oh yeah, we always go to fiestas every year. We still go. Me and my sister go.
What do you like about the Fiesta?
I don't know. Everything.
Zobra? Have you ever seen? Go see
I
Zobra?
used to go. No, I haven't gone out for a long while. Me and my husband used to take my grandkids over there. Yeah.
What's your name?
Nina.
Nino?
And I come from the Catskills.
Oh, the Catskills
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
When did you first come to Santa Fe?
A long time ago, about 5 years ago. I still miss my greenery. You know why? Because I live in the basement of the place. And when a tornado went around, it sounded like a train just turned a barn around up there.
What did you think when you first came to Santa Fe?
All the desert and the dryness and the hotness. And I still miss my greenery and my humidity.
What is it about Santa Fe that's different than New York?
Very different. It's doggone bone dry as the desert itself.
How about the traffic and the people?
Oh, not good.
Uh-huh.
Because when I first got in the city of Binghamton, I almost got hit by a car because I lived out in the country for a while. And I'm a retired farmer.
Oh, a retired farmer.
And I'm glad of it because it was hard work.
How about Santa Fe? What do you think? How do you like it?
I don't like it that much.
You don't like it that much?
I like the people, though.
What do you like about the people here?
Oh, I have friends and family, that's all.
Do you go downtown much?
Hell no. I avoid that as much as I can.
But you live here in Santa Fe?
Yeah, because when I went to Catskills, I saw the eagle, wild turkeys, and deer. There was no deer in my front yard there, upstate New York. Plus there's rabbits. There's even bears up there.
How about here in Santa Fe? Do you see much wildlife?
Hell no, not even.
Just a few coyotes maybe once in a while?
No, not where I live.